Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Off. Today I'm going to do the review of the January 15th NHL Games, simply because I forgot to do it yesterday. So we're just going to do that now. Get out of the way. Anyways, to start off with, we're going to go to Philadelphia and St. Louis. So in the first period, there's no scoring. Second period, Scott Laughton opens up the scoring for the Philadelphia Flyers at 103 from Garnet Hathaway and Sean Walker. Oscar Sundqvist would then score at 18-19 for the Blues from Shen and Pernovich on the power play. Ryan Poling would give the Flyers back the lead at 19:53 the second from Igor Zamula and Cam Atkinson. Third period, Brendan Saul would score for the Blues at 1:18 from Braden Shen and Jordan Kyrou. Owen Tippett would answer at 14:27 from Konechny and Frost to regain the lead. And then Joel Farabee would score unassisted into the empty net at 19:06 to give the Flyers a 4-2 victory. Moving on to Colorado and Montreal. So in the first period, Ross Colton scores for the Avs at 4:28 from Drouin and Makar on the power play. Slavkovsky would answer for the Habs at 7:17 from Suzuki and Caulfield, also on the power play. Second period, Makar would score from Gerard and McKinnon at 1:01. 16:08, Harvey Pinard would score from Evans and Gallagher to tie it up again, I believe, yeah. Third period, Caulfield would score at 1:52 from Suzuki and Matheson on the power play. Devon Toews would score at 9:37 from Rantanen and Makar. And then Yoel Armia would score the winner for the Habs at 15:50 from Monahan and Savard. Montreal takes that one 4-3. Moving on to Minnesota and New York, the Islanders. In the first period, Matt Zuccarello scores from Faber and Boley on the power play at 2:11. Second period, Dewar would score unassisted at 2:18. Eric Sneck would score at 13:36 from Kaprizov and Zuccarello on the power play. Eric Sneck would score again in the third period at 16:09 from Foligno and Bogosian shorthanded. And then Foligno would score from Goudreau and Brodin at 19:03. Wild take that one 5-0. And yeah, that was the last game for the Wild. I believe that moved Fleury into second all-time in wins, behind only Martin Brodeur, I believe. Pretty sure I'm right about that, but you can fact check me in the comments if you wish. Moving on to LA and Carolina. So in the first period, Trevor Moore scores at 6:24 from Philip Deneau and Vladislav Gavrikov. Second period, Martinez scores for Jarvis and Burns at 5:38 tied up. Deneau scores at 1:01 from Walla and Gavrikov to give the Kings back the lead. Lefario extended at 2:21 from Anderson and Dubois. Dubois would score from Anderson, Bellin, and Anderson at 5:20. That's Jarrett and Mikey Anderson, I guess. Jed Drury would put the Avalanche on the board in the third period at 8:58 from Stefan Nossa and Jalen Chatfield, their second goal of the game. And then at 18:44, Trevor Moore scores from Deneau and Watt into the empty net. Kings set that one 5-2. We got there in the end. It was a bit of a roundabout way, but New Jersey and Boston. In the first period, no scoring. Second period, 30 seconds in, Charlie Cole scores from Marchand and Pasternak. Third period, Pasternak scores at 3:22 from McAvoy and Marchand on the power play. And then Trent Frederick would score unassisted into the empty net at 18:42. Boston takes it 3-0. We went to the Ducks and the Panthers. This one was surprising. In the first period, Sam Bennett scores for the Panthers at 8:29 from Rodriguez and Ekman-Larsson, former Canuck, on the power play. Reinhardt would score again, his 32nd of the year, at 17:35 from Mikola shorthanded. Cologne would score for the Ducks at 19:56 from Adam Henrique. Henrique would score one of his own in the second period at 5:24 from Vetrano shorthanded. Verhaeghe would score at 9:36 for the Panthers from Montour and Barkov on the power play. Bennett would score at 12:49 from Tkachuk and Verhaeghe. Silverberg would score at 14:58 for the Ducks from Sam Carrick. And then the third period at 3:45, Troy Terry would tie it up from Jackson Lacombe. And then in overtime, Killorn would score 48 seconds in from Vetrano and Fowler to win it for the Ducks 5-4. Yeah, so I guess good for the Ducks. Moving on to Seattle and Pittsburgh. In the first period, there's no scoring. Second period, Drew O'Connor scores at 49 seconds from Brian Rust and Vada Malkin. Crosby would score 3:32 from Letang and Raquel. Third period at 17:39, Crosby scores from Raquel and Carlson into the empty net. Penguins take that one 3-0. Moving on to the Sharks and the Sabres. Another 3-0 game. The first period, no scoring. Second period, Middlestat scores from Oposo and Johnson at 11:34. Tackle score from Jack Quinn and Middlestat on the power play at 14:37. Third period, Greenway scores at 16:34 from Middlestat and Dahlin into the empty net. Buffalo takes that one 3-0. As probably expected by a lot of people. Moving on to Vegas and Pittsburgh and Nashville. Wearing my Chandler Stevenson Stanley Cup final patch. Yeah, Vegas jersey. First period at 15:25, Mark Stone scores from Pavel Dorofeyev and Nicholas Hague. Second period, Stone scores again at 1:11 from Stevenson and Dorofeyev. At 17:22, Evangelista scores for the Predators from Carrier and Yossi. That's not Ryan Carrier. That's not the Carrier on the Knights. I'm trying to remember his first name. Just blanked for a minute. Okay, we'll move on from that. At 19:36 to the second, Mark Stone completes the hat trick again from Stevenson. And then in the third period, Marchessault scores at 19:41 from Pietrangelo and Watt into the empty net. Vegas takes that one 4-1. And then the last game, not my most favorite, but not as bad as it could have been. First period between Vancouver and Columbus. JT Miller scores from Nikita Zadorov at 5:28. 5:55, Chinnikov scores from Gaudreau. At 14:54 the first, Garland regains the lead from Teddy Booger and Dakota Joshua, that line being hot again. Second period, Voronkov scores at 3:28 from Boqvist and Gaudreau on the power play. Then at 17:35, Elias Patterson scores from JT Miller and Quinn Hughes on the power play. Third period, Voronkov scores from Roslovic at 10:57 to tie it up at 3. Overtime, there's no scoring, and then Marchenko gets the shootout winner for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Whatever. It was a 5-1-1 road trip. Vancouver's still tied for first overall. So I'm not as sad as I could have been. Anyways, that's it for Monday. So hit like if you liked it, subscribe if you liked it, and I'll see you guys next time. Adios.